NBL punters, you know this already, but I'm going to remind you again, Bet with Mates is the absolute best way to consume and bet on the NBL for season 2024. The season is absolutely airborne. We've seen some massive dunks, some big triples and some close games from all of the NBL's superstars. And you can do it now by betting with your mates. And the new chat function is the way to go. Give your mates the honest feedback on their good bets and the bets that don't get up. We love it. Enjoy the NBL all season long with Bet with Mates.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Steindl with a bomb. If anybody can, Clint Steindl, the three-point specialist can.
Wanted a long pass, and he dunks it anyway.
Steindl from way downtown.
Steindl again. Martin pulls it out. Steindl, look out! It's Steindl time.
Steindl gets it deep. Beautiful finish.
Oh my goodness!
Down.
Steindl.
Turnover for Illawarra so far. Steindl.
Here's the man, the hot man. He does it again.
Steindl jumps up for the dunk.
There's an assassin, Clint Steindl, the sniper, cool as you please.
Right, Blanchfield takes the bump and the count. That is a continuation.
Bang. Clint Steindl is rolling.
Same result.
Steindl's fouled. Down goes the three.
No shortage of jerseys in that one. He's been a journeyman throughout the league, Clint Steindl, and we absolutely love having him. He's plying his trade with the JackJumpers. We're about to take on the Adelaide 36ers, but fellas, I've seen some subs in my time. Players get dragged last minute. I've been dragged, but there's no better super sub than out P. Hooley and Andrew Gaze, the greatest of all time. It's time to crack in. The Adelaide 36ers taking on the Tassie JackJumpers. You can crack into it first.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. Are the Adelaide 36ers the real deal? We've seen some improvement since DJ's come into the lineup, so looking forward to seeing where they're at. And then, of course, as we mentioned yesterday, Will Magnay. That's going to be a huge in for them. So just seeing how they incorporate him back into the rotation is going to be interesting.
Well, the timing's right for the JackJumpers bringing Will Magnay back in because they're coming up against one of the better centres in the league in Isaac Humphries.
Yeah, they are.
Of course, for the Adelaide 36ers, who, when he's on, the 36ers are on. When he's off, and we'll look a little bit later, the 36ers are off. But the question I want to pose to you is, does he need to get more of the ball right now?
Well, based on the numbers, you'd think that they'd be trying to do that because in wins, he's up at almost 19 points a game and almost 12 boards. In the losses, he's around the 10 and 6. So clearly, when they play through Isaac a little more, then good things have gone their way. Now, you know, there's only the 3 wins there, and in one of those games he had 28, so that could skew the numbers ever so slightly. But I think that there is some relevance to that, and I think it's on the Adelaide 36ers to continue to try and figure out their balance. DJ comes in, dominates the ball a lot, and how you play through Isaac, but a lot of it comes down to Isaac as well. In one of those games which they lost, he had 1 field goal attempt in the whole game.
Not happy.
Now, yeah, you got to get him the ball. But if you're a big fella, go get a rebound and just say, I'm just going to put this thing back up and get your shots in other ways.
Yeah, he's had some good games recently, and as you say, Adelaide tend to go well when he's putting up numbers. Throw that 17 and 11 in New Zealand into that mix as well when they got that win. So he is definitely a barometer for this squad.
Well, another player for the Adelaide 36ers that you certainly know a whole lot about, Trentyn Flowers. The mock draft stuff came out. We've had guys at the top, we've had guys in the middle. Trentyn Flowers sitting around the 60 mark. Now, I'm no NBA expert, but sometimes you want to push yourself to maybe even 59, 58 and just cement your spot in that draft. But your thoughts on him so far? Getting more involvement. He had one really good game earlier in the season, but we've seen mixed results so far.
Super talented young man, and he's just champing at the bit for more opportunities. This was the 4th quarter, Felix, where he poured 18 in and had 23 overall and fired the Adelaide 36ers to victory. Now, the lineup has changed a bit since then. DJ's come in, but this kid can really play. He brings some speed, some athleticism, some energy to this group, and he shoots the heck out of the ball. I mean, he's 7 of 11 from 3 on the season so far. So it's interesting. Maybe with Trey Kell out tonight, some extra opportunities will exist for Trentyn Flowers, and he might bring some energy to this squad tonight.
You know what I was most impressed with there? He said champing at the bit, not chomping at the bit. You gave the right way to say it, which we rarely see in today's world. But CJ Bruton's a guy that I think the pressure cook has just come off a little bit, and Kelsey Brown caught up with him earlier.
CJ, first time up against Tassie tonight. What's the focus and how have you scouted them for the game?
Well, the focus is come away with a win. I think you're playing in front of a sellout crowd here tonight. It's exciting to have that sort of atmosphere here at home for the first time this year, and look forward to putting on a great display.
You've won 3 out of the last 5. Do you feel like the consistency's coming? You're putting together some strong basketball. How does it feel out there?
It feels like we have improved a lot from pre-season to now. Clearly the results haven't shown that all the way through, but how we're playing, the way that we move the ball, how we continue to play our defensive schemes, and obviously offensively, I think we're more connected as we were more now than we were in the pre-season.
Speaking offensively, Treykel's been a powerhouse over the last few games. He's obviously sitting out tonight. Who needs to step up?
Well, it's everyone. It's not one person's job to take that fold on the shoulders, but clearly our playmakers need to create and make plays for others, and also be aggressive when their opportunities are there. But defensively, more importantly, I think we've got a job to do. Teams coming in off a win, and we've got to make sure we shut down their stars and keep it quite even.
Last one, DJ, we've spoken a fair bit about him and his inclusion. What's the impact that he's had on the team on and off the court?
DJ's been great. I think his leadership to his playmaking ability to clearly his continuing conversations within the group as he's come together. He's helping guys get better, let them know where they need to be on spots, and also they're helping him. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play tonight and having a great game.
Awesome. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Andrew, there's one knock on you, and it's that you've long lost touch with the common man. You focus on the superstars too much and you forget about the dirty little role players.
How can you say that when you're part of my team?
Because I'm one of those dirty little role players that's been forgotten.
That's right. I'm not forgetting about you, but it's true. When you look at the JackJumpers, they've got those role players that step in. Now, Marcus Lee kind of fits into that category, even though he's an import as well. Jack McVeigh, is he sort of he might have even be a little bit ahead of that run of the mill.
For the sake of it, we'll call him a role player, but I want to know, before we cut to this game, winners?
I'm going to go with the JackJumpers.
Yeah, I'm with Tassie.
2 with Tassie. Oh, the commentator's curse. It's always a dangerous one. Tassie JackJumpers, the Adelaide 36ers starts now.
Kel came up with it. What a pass for Starling. Unbelievable play from Trey Kel. Ball in the hands of Kadee. Got away in time and scores.
Seaman with a really long reach attempt. That was amazing.
Pass inside for Siljevic for Starling. Doyle in transition. Got it.
Oh, come on, Derek.
Look at the JackJumpers. They are flying right now.
Marcus Lee puts a lid on it.
He's hurting them big time.
It's Remembrance Round in Adelaide as the 36ers look to bounce back onto the winners list against the Tasmania JackJumpers. Another big crowd rolling into the Adelaide Entertainment Centre on a picture-perfect day in the city of Churches. And they're hoping their hometown team can claim a 4th win of the season, while the JackJumpers come into this game inside the top 4 and looking to move to 6-4 in their campaign. Great to have you with us for this second leg of our Saturday night doubleheader in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Joel Peterson with you alongside Andrew Gaze and Liam Santamaria as we take a look at our Mitsubishi Motors ladder. The Jackies 5-4 in 4th, the 36ers 3-6 in 8th. They could make a bit of a statement by taking a scalp tonight, potentially, Gazy, the Sixers.
They certainly can, and it's a big one for them. You saw just from the ladder there, you don't want to let the teams get away from you too much. They gave a bit of a head start. They've been able to recover with a couple of wins, and I think on their home court in front of their home fans, apparently it's another sellout here in Adelaide, so they're really getting behind CJ Bruton and the team, and they can sense something happening. No Trey Kel is going to be a setback for him because he can explode. In fact, he's had a couple of 25-point-plus games, so he can explode for them. But perhaps Liam's man might get a little bit more burn tonight.
Well, DJ Vasiljevic is going to be another key part of it as well. He's so important to what they do. He just brings a different dynamic to them, Liam. His shot-making ability has been a big factor in their turnaround.
Yeah, sure has, and it's given them some belief. Certainly given them some focus at the offensive end, but some belief that they've got a guy who's going to be able to pour some points on the board and get them rolling. He's 11th in the league in scoring, 17.5 per game, Dejan Vasiljevic. And I tell you, it's when the defense starts to overcommit to a guy like this that other guys get involved. The 2 wins they've had with DJ in the lineup, he's had 5 or more assists. So he brings a dynamic factor at the offensive end.
Absolutely. So no Trey Kell tonight. He's coming off his best game of the season. He is a bit of a loss for them, just in terms of setting the table and a bit of creativity, Gazy.
Yeah.
He's going to be hard to replace.
Well, maybe. I think that they've got some depth in that position, and you know, I think that with what Trey Kell's done, he's only been shooting the 3-ball at 28%, and but playing heavy minutes, almost 20 minutes a game. So someone is going to get an opportunity, and I think that when you look at some of the other players that they have at their disposal, it can open up a bit of a feel. You start to feel a bit better about the game because you're seeing that maybe there's a little bit more playing time, maybe there's a few more extra shots. So in the short term, it might be helpful for them.
The opportunity's certainly going to be there for a few to stand up. For Scott Roth and his team, well, the loss would have them back at 500. The defensive end's been a little bit of a concern for them, Liam. Not where they'd want to be at this point of the season, but getting Will Magnay back potentially helps boost that end of the floor.
Oh, big time. And so good to see him back. Can't wait to see him out on the floor tonight. Remember two-way Magnay when he was just tearing it up for the Bullets and he went over and had some time with New Orleans? Obviously, it's going to take a little while to get back to that level, but big for them to have him returning to the lineup.
And, of course, Milton Doyle is such a key part of what they do. He's had an interesting season in the sense that he's had a couple of really great performances, Gazy. We've seen what we know from him. He's had a couple where he's been a bit more quiet. He spoke during the week about the fact that he'd like to get to the line a little bit more than he has. He's only averaging at 2 and a bit free throw attempts a game. He was solid against Brisbane. But it's been an interesting flow to his season thus far.
It is, but he's always in that conversation in the short time that he's been here last year and what we've seen this year as being one of the best players in the competition. He steps up in clutch time. He's versatile. He can do this. How many people do we see actually getting down in the box and getting busy these days? Not very often. He has the capacity to do that. He can hit the 3-ball. He's very good at the mid-range. And I don't know about the scoring and field goal scoring attempts that you've got up on the screen here, and you've got one that's letting it fly, DJ Vasiljevic. You spoke about him, and also with Milton Doyle, but the difference being with DJ, he's only shooting at 35% from the field, so there's a bit more room for improvement from him as well.
Doyle and Crawford don't get to the line particularly often, and they're the worst in the league at getting to the line as a whole, the JackJumpers.
But there's always context around those stats. That's how it's been, not just this year. Last year, he what was it, a little over 3 or 3 a game that he was having. And you look at the JackJumpers in general, they don't get to the free throw line. I think they're second last in free throw attempts.
Big night for this man, Clint Steindl. 300 NBL games. He's been such a big part of things down in Tassie, Liam.
And congratulations to him. He's been a really good player in this league for such a long time. Of course, Cairns, Townsville, a couple of championships in Perth. And he's now the skipper for that JackJumpers squad and brings up a big milestone game tonight.
So the change in the starting 5 for Adelaide is Sunday Detch is in. He replaces Trey Kell. So it's the same 4 other starters for Adelaide. And Tasmania are the only team that's gone with the same starting lineup in every single game thus far. So no changes to that team for Scott Roth.
No, there's not. And Jordan Crawford looking to bounce back. He had a tough shooting night in their last outing, 4 of 21. Now, they still got the win over the Bullets. So he's a dangerous player. And whenever you have those types of shooting nights, you always worry about the next game up because he is an elite player and he could go bunter in this one. Bunter.
Hopefully he does because he's such an excitement machine when he gets going. So a big opportunity for the 36ers tonight on their home floor on Brett Maher Court in front of a big crowd to go against one of the league's heavyweights and see what they've got. And it'll be Tassie who start us off with the opening possession on the offensive end. That same starting lineup for the 10th game this season. Scott Roth hasn't been forced into any changes. Straight away, Doyle goes at Vasiljevic. Can't hit, almost came up with the loose ball, then dives on it. Sunday Detch takes it away from him. And then a loose pass on the other end. Jackie's run the break and McVeigh slams it home to get things going.
Oh, that'll feel good. For Jack McVeigh, of course, spent a little time in Adelaide. McVeigh before making his way down to Tassie, and an early throwdown in transition.
And you love playing against your old teams because he had 6 career best 6 3-pointers in their last outing against Adelaide.
Another takeaway for the Jack-Jumpers here. Doyle with the dribble moves to Lee. And there's dunks everywhere early for Tassie.
Just sloppy on the offensive end for the Adelaide 36ers.
Not the start CJ Bruton would have dialed up. Humphries, they'd love to be able to get him more involved. Vasiljevic maybe would have shot that. Down to red numbers on the shot clock now. Here's Wiley. He's had a difficult week on the health front. He was very ill last week in Perth, and a bit of gastro going through this 36ers camp as Crawford scoots inside, can't hit. And Lee flings it off the apparatus.
It's a very early stages of the game, but these first 3 possessions on the defensive end for the JackJumpers, there is a level of intent and ball pressure, and the way in which they're trying to run Adelaide out of it, that's a noticeable improvement.
DJ wide open in the corner, can't hit. Wiley can't get it to go. McCarron's there for the follow.
I like the intent from Adelaide on the offensive glass on that possession. You know, they're having a little bit of tough time offensively to start the game. Well, get after it on the glass and get yourself some extra possessions.
They haven't done that overly well this season. 9th in the league in offensive rebounding. The 36ers. Lee inside, little turnaround won't go. Here comes Vasiljevic. Looking to get downhill. Humphries at the free throw line, little floater. Left it a bit short. An early touch for Isaac Humphries is a good sign as far as the 36ers are concerned. Saw those numbers, the difference between whether it's causation or correlation between when he plays well and they win or lose. The difference is stark. Here's Drimmick, another former 36er. Doyle from way downtown. It's off the mark. Loose ball and they all dive on it.
Good defensive possession from Adelaide. Just pretty fundamentally sound, getting through those screening actions and forcing a tough, long contested 3-ball. And we'll talk about the matchup. Sunday Deck coming into the lineup. He's got a big job on Milton Doyle tonight, and he loves those situations Sunday. And CJ Bruton will be looking to him to try to keep Milton Doyle under wraps.
Yeah, I don't know whether Milton Doyle would be wrapped that Trey Kell's not there, because if it means he's got to see a lot more of Sunday, it's going to be a much more physical, get up in your face, really fighting over the top of those screens, which Sunday can do. So it's going to test Milton on the offensive end.
Lee's been active on the glass early for the JackJumpers. Here's Crawford at that elbow, that mid-range patented jump shot. Can't hit. Scoots to the corner. And the shooting woes continue, at least in the early stages for Jordan Crawford. 0 of 7 last week against Brisbane, as Casey referenced, 4 from 21 from the field. But he's an experienced campaigner. He'll bounce back. And a foot on the sideline, so another turnover early doors for the Sixers.
In the front.
Well, this is the kind of defensive intensity and intent that you're talking about, Drewy, and it's how Scott Roth likes his team to go about it. Get up the floor, make things difficult, and there they force a turnover in the backcourt.
And when you've got your best player up and in the backcourt causing that turnover, that can be infectious. And it's even better when you get the defensive effort, you get the reward immediately. Instant reward with the 3-ball, nothing but cotton.
Milton Doyle on the score sheet. So a 5-point lead to the JackJumpers with just over 4 minutes, or just under 4 minutes played in the early stages of this one. Joel Peterson, Liam Santamaria, Andrew Gaze with you. We go courtside to the final member of our broadcast team in Kelsey Brown. Evening, Kels.
Hi guys, good to be here. It's a packed out arena at the moment. I spoke to CJ pre-game. He was very calm and kind of excited about what Adelaide were producing in the last few games. He said consistency is looking like it's coming.
Big dunk from Mitch McCarron.
He turned back the clock. He's gone back to his Cairns Titeband's days. But the ball movement is the thing that sticks out there. The extra pass as they chase it down and continuing to find the open man, and a nice finish.
Nice signs for Mitch McCarron. McVeigh with the spin move, around it in. It's a friendly roll on his former home floor for Jack McVeigh.
He's so consistent, Jack McVeigh. Game in, game out, gets it done. He has scored between 13 and 22 every single game this season.
Wiley all the way! And a little bit of a flex for the home fans.
Well, a little bit of action above the rim on consecutive possessions for Adelaide. Mitch McCarron sliding along the baseline, and then Wiley puts the Jets on. Past Jack McVeigh and up through and over Marcus Lee, and a little how do you do to finish it off.
Nice start from Jacob Wiley on the Harvey Norman replay. He can go to the line and add the bonus halfway through this opening term, which he does. First substitutions for the JackJumpers, and Kelsey Brown, Will Magnay's into the action.
Yeah, his first minutes for NBL24, which is exciting for him. I spoke to him pre-game about whether Scott Roth had given him a role for this game. He said no. The words were very simple. Keep it simple, rebound. That's all he needs to do.
Thanks, Kelsey's going to be a very handy addition to their front line of their defence. Sean McDonald into the action as well for the Jackies. Still the starting five for Adelaide as McDonald knocks one down from outside.
He's been lights out this season. From the field, 50% and high 40s from the three-point line as well. So you got to respect him, and they did not show the respect that he's earned. And DJ gets himself going. That's what DJ can do, though. He can create his own shot. Doesn't need a lot of system in order to find his shot.
3.5 assists as well for DJ Vasiljevic. Standard a real dynamic element to this 36ers offense they didn't have at the early point of the season. And that'll go in Tassie's direction with another turnover for the Sixers. That's 4 in the early doors.
Yeah, and CJ Bruton won't be happy. He spoke during the week in the lead up to this game about valuing possession of the ball. Had defensive rebounds, finishing possessions at that end of the floor, and then limiting their turnovers. So 4 early giveaways in this one.
Deng out there for Tassie at the moment. Jason Key checks in along with Toy Smith-Milner for the 36ers. Drimmick's a little bit strong. Magnay rips it down but lost the handle, then he hits the floor. It's probably not what they wanted to see in his first minutes on the hardwood. It was him crashing into Brett Marcourt. Pass inside looking for Humphries, who slipped at the critical moment.
Well, turnovers are well in excess of where they need to be. That's their 5th. 5th turnover. We've only been playing a ticket 6.5 minutes.
He's Deng outside at the other end. Foul on the floor.
Stop. If the ball goes in, I'm not calling, but it has to be a foul, yeah? 34, blue, push this way.
So foul on Vasiljevic.
And that brings Steindl into the game. Game 300. Drew, now from a man who played a heck of a lot of games. 300, is it a milestone? Are you ready to give that the credit?
Nah, absolutely. Anything with a 3 in front of it deserves the absolute respect.
Prior to that?
You're in consideration. But when they're in the sort of the 2s and the 150s.
Doesn't quite.
I don't know whether we need to go.
Can't be raising the bat for 150.
Well, I would have thought you need a little bit more than that. But it's a great achievement. But, you know, when we're talking about the introduction special acknowledgements, then I reckon you need to have a 3.
Okay. All right, well, Steindl has that.
So well done.
As of tonight.
And he's clinks too. He's got some rings.
Oh, yes.
Along the journey.
A few accolades in the career of Clint Steindl, former most improved player, a couple of championships. Inside, Magnay on the lob, just couldn't finish. he was the exact type of player that epitomises what the Jack Jumpers have been about as DJ goes inside and gets fouled. He'd be the first pick for Scott Roth every week, and just love what he brings in terms of a culture and a bit of a trendsetter for that group.
Yeah, well, when he started the franchise, when he came in as head coach and started recruiting the group, Scott Roth, he wanted to bring certainly some Tasmanian culture and values to the team, Drew, but also he wanted to bring a bit of what Trevor Gleeson had happening in Western Australia at the Wildcats, and Clint Steindl was a big part of that.
Absolutely, he was. You can unlock the ultimate fan experience this season, and it's all free thanks to NBL Plus. It powers up your NBL experience with access to in-depth stats, classic NBL moments, partner offers, and much more. Sign up for NBL Plus free via the NBL app or NBL.com.au.
And I tell you what you'd find in there, Joel, is that Steindl, who has been a career 38% three-point shooter, which is very nice, very, very nice.
That's very tight.
Is shooting 63% from long range on the year thus far.
Has he got the required number of attempts to... oh, that's just too easy. Really too easy, because you can get a nice tidy number from time to time without necessarily throwing a whole lot up.
He's 12 of 19 on the season.
That is very good.
That's pretty solid. Here's Deng outside. He's hit some shooting form this year as well.
CJ on the sideline, he's got to be absolutely disgusted with what he's seeing. 6 turnovers to 1 right now, and it's only the tough field goal shooting from the Jackies at 7 of 18 that have sort of keeping the Adelaide 36ers in touch.
So 6-point Jack Jumpers lead. Of course, Clint Steindl in game 300. Kelsey Brown caught up with him earlier.
Clint, congratulations. You're lining up for your 300th game tonight. Have you reflected this week? What does it mean for you and your family?
Not too much reflection just yet. We've had a pretty busy schedule, but I mean, looking back on it a little bit, it's just the people I've met along the way, and those that I get to share the journey with, my family and now my kids. That's been a huge part of it. But yeah, receiving messages from a lot of people that I've crossed paths with, coaches, former teammates. So it's been great.
You've had some incredible achievements across that span of 300 games. Is there any one moment or one game or one championship that stands out for you?
I mean, there's been a lot of moments. But I mean, first championship's always special. I always remember that one in Melbourne. But yeah, like I said, haven't had too much time to reflect, but just the people I've been able to share it with, and the teammates and people I've been around at the clubs I've been around, to me, that's the most special part for sure.
So he's a great basketball person, great basketball family. Of course, wife Kayla, a very accomplished basketball player in her own right through the WNBL and playing college at Gonzaga. And just a basketball life who absolutely loves the game.
Yeah, it's been a fun journey. Of course, out of Mackay in Queensland through the AIS, St Mary's, and then, of course, Aaron Fern picking him up in those Cairns Taipans years. I remember him getting buckets under Sean Dennis at Townsville when they had a fun young squad getting things done.
Here's McCarron as the shot clock expires from the elbow. Can't hit. As a coach, Gaze, he's the kind of player, Clint Steindl, you just love to have on your roster.
Oh, for sure. Anytime you can shoot the ball like he can, you're going to be a threat. And plays with a good, really high basketball IQ, and that's going to be off the ball. And Tully Smith-Milner has gone back to his maybe a little bit of rugby action there. That looked a little aggressive. That may get further review.
Looked like a front rower.
Just dropped the shoulder, it looked like.
Probably a little bit of a clip on the way through from one of the Tassie players as well, which didn't please him.
Off the ball. And it was a good old-fashioned hip and shoulder. Because here you see the cutting action, the diver. We talk about tagging the roller. That's not tagging the roller, that's assaulting the roller. And you can't do that.
Charges, laid.
Charges.
Smith-Milner.
I would have thought so. And the intent was exactly what he had to do. He had to get in there and try and help out on the roller.
Well, the issue is, Will Magnay over the top there. Massive threat.
Yes.
When he's rolling to the rim, they've already shown a desire to throw it up to him. So Smith-Milner was having none of that.
If you gave me a list of people to run into, no. I wouldn't put Tari Smith-Milner on the list.
No, that's for sure. He's got some density that would... It's hard to move. He's hard to move, but you He's been good also on the offensive, and here's another look at it. Just stepped in to him and just went. See, sometimes when you have...
I love the hand raise.
Yeah.
Yep, that was on me.
I'm happy to acknowledge that might be a personal foul.
I committed a foul, but Will Magnay, when you haven't been playing for a little while, and your spatial awareness and dealing with the knocks, it can take a little while to adjust, and that would have rung the bells a little.
You're saying that was his welcome back to the NBL moment?
Just a little, how you going? Good to see you back, big fella. But we just need to slow you down a little bit. But, hey, good news for you is it looks like Trentyn is coming, checked into the game as well.
He's rocking the new hairstyle. He had that in Perth.
Or is it just...
The cornrows are in.
The cornrows. So he goes from 6'6", with the 6'9" with the fro, to about 6'6".
No. Legit 6'8".
Right, okay.
Is Trentyn Flowers.
More aerodynamic.
Certainly mixing it up.
Young folk, nothing wrong with that. I like it.
So 17-11, 133 remaining in this opening term. It's an unsportsmanlike foul on Torrey Smith-Milner, and head of referees with the NBL, Scott Bartley, can join us to explain that one. Evening, Scott. What was the reasoning behind the decision with Smith-Milner?
So he lines up the off-ball cutter and just drops the shoulder into him, and that's excessive contact just on his face.
Yeah, I reckon Scott's had a lot more difficult ones to review than that one.
Absolutely. I think that was a bit of a slam dunk. Thanks, Scott. And Burgers as well. So the code word is swing. You can head into the NBL app. Just hit the little menu in the top right. So the 3 lines. And then it drops down, and right at the bottom it says free cheeseburgers in big white writing, so you can't miss it. And you jump in there, and the code word is swing.
Ooh, it sounds like you know exactly how it works, John.
CJ's feeling it as well. He's got a behaviour warning as well.
Good hustle from Flowers. A couple of intercepts on that possession. So still a 6-point lead to the JackJumpers. Just over a minute remaining in this opening term. Joel Peterson, Liam Santamaria, Andrew Gaze, Kelsey Brown with you. Second leg of a Saturday night doubleheader. They go down low to Flowers, who had the mismatch in size on Crawford and got fouled.
We dodged the bullet there, Flowers, because Crawford knows what to do when he gets stuck down low. Pulled the chair and just happened to get caught grabbing the arm prior to getting that done. So Flowers will head to the free throw line.
Jordan Crawford said, young man, this is not my first rodeo.
Well, if they stay with that matchup, I think they should go back to it. Although the young fella probably doesn't have a whole bunch of experience working on the box, when you've got such a profound size advantage. Now, whether that was just a switching action, whether that's going to be something that continues, it's how you penalise and where you can recognise your advantages.
Well, either way, even if that matchup is Mitch McCarron, Drew.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, go to it.
Could have seen getting some more run. Trentyn Flowers, just the 4 minutes last time against Perth. So no Trey Kell tonight for the 36ers. A bit more opportunity opens up for him. Krislovic out there for the JackJumpers now. McDonald to Deng, 3 on the shot clock. Can't connect. Flowers rips down the rebound. 6 turnovers in this opening frame for the 36ers. Trailed by 6 on a couple of occasions. Sold out crowd at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Smith-Milner underneath. Gives it off to Flowers, who hangs and hits.
Good ball movement. Good extra pass from Smith-Milner underneath. And Flowers always does a good job in those situations, moving without the ball and making himself available.
Had the last possession of this opening frame here, Tassie. What can Crawford create? It's fouled by Starling. Experience of Alex Starling. Very accomplished player in the NBL1 Central South Australian basketball royalty. Krislovic on the roll. The turnaround is going to be well short. And Starling doesn't get the shot off to end the opening term. Tassie led by as many as 6 on a couple of occasions. The 36ers with a couple of late buckets narrow the gap And we go to quarter time with Tassie up by 2.
Make a basket. First to make a basket with the prize pack. So, Murray, are we ready to go? All right, folks, let's give a countdown from 5. We'll get it started. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up you go. Find your shoes. Do them up. We're all about safety here at Adelaide. I did mention that. You've got to make sure that that's not done up. You need to do them up. You got to do that one up and that one up. Not together, done up together, but individually. You got to do them up. You need to be done up, that's not done up. You're doing a very good job. You're doing a double knot or a single knot over here. It's a single knot. Quick kick on the shoe, don't talk to me. She's doing all right, leave her alone. There's got one there, the other one hasn't been done up yet either. That is very, you're looking very deep concentration. There we go, one up. Here we go, could this be it? Could it be over this quickly? It sure is over this quickly. Well done. You got your shoes done up way faster than my kids would ever do in the morning. Come over here, come over here. Oh, Murray. What is your name? Kiara, congratulations. Well done. A prize pack to you, but you guys did great too, so you don't have a prize pack. Congratulations. Good job. Well done. Put your shoes away when you get home. Thanks, you Jordans. Love you guys.
Two-point lead to the visiting Tasmania JackJumpers at the end of the opening term. Couple of Mitsubishi Motors threes for the Jackies to Milton Doyle, to Sean McDonald. They led by 6 on a couple of occasions, but the Adelaide 36ers chased them down, and we go to quarter time, 17-15 in the second leg of our Saturday night doubleheader in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Joel Peterson, Liam Santamaria, Andrew Gaze with you. Kelsey Brown is with us courtside. It's close in the early stages, which is what we like to see.
Well, it was, and it wasn't necessarily a great shooting exhibition. Both teams below 40 from the field, and very unusual when you think of the Adelaide 36ers in that first quarter. Only 2 three-point field goal attempts. Now, that is
Brisbane Bullets-esque.
Very rare in games of basketball at any part of the world, any league. But so it's a good job by the JackJumpers of guarding the three-point line. They haven't given up too many easy opportunities.
Oh, hell of a pass. Great feet underneath to Starling. Just couldn't finish. Krislovic tries to rip it away from him.
He just does such a good job of processing those situations out of pick and rolls. Jason Kadee, Drewy, you've coached him, enjoyed his work, snaking off ball screens, and there just looks off the defense. Sets Starling up for a bunny.
Rock back with him now. Low shot clock situation. Smith-Milner drops the shoulder in the first quarter and drops the 3 here in the second.
Well, that's what he can do. He's I like where you went with that. We saw him against the Perth Wildcats.
Yes.
He knocked down some big threes, and that's been his calling card throughout a lot of his career in the NBL, is he can spread the floor, and that time wide open. Knocked it down.
Ding draws the double team, fights his way through it. Around and out. McCarron will bring it up the floor for the Sixers. Flowers, Kadee, Smith-Milner and Starling out there with him. Crawford, Ding, McDonald, Krislovic, Steindl out there for the JackJumpers. Smith-Milner looking for the entry pass to Starling. Finds him against McDonald, and he takes it up strong.
Good strong work down low. CJ Bruton talked them right through that possession. He took their hand and he led them down to Alex Starling in the block, and he did the rest.
Smith-Milner's had a really good couple of minutes. The extra pass in the first quarter the 3 ball, and even that, it's pretty basic, but just the entry pass to get it down low to feed the low post. He's been productive.
And don't forget, Drewy, I mean, the 36ers have a high upside guy in that position, Kyron Galloway. On the pine, they're going to Smith Milner instead of.
That's right. And Galloway's done some good things this season. We saw a 10-point outburst in the last quarter when they had the home win against Perth, and he was huge. And that's sometimes the tough decisions that coaches have to make. They feel the moment, perhaps looking for a little bit more physical presence on the defensive end. And Smith Milner took that literally in the first quarter.
36ers run it up the floor. Here is Smith Milner in the corner again. Not this time.
That was beautiful ball movement up the floor against the pressure defense. Wide open look.
Speaking of which, Milton Doyle can't hit his. That was well off. Uncharacteristically so for Milton Doyle. So 36ers with their first lead of the game. 2 minutes played here in this second term. Big crowd in at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. And Smith Milner is delighting them.
Oh, he's putting it on the deck, getting to the rim. And as I would think, timeout. What are we going to do about Smith Milner? Who would have thought that'd be coming out of our mouths at the start of the game?
Well, it wasn't Scott Roth's expectation.
Didn't have that on the bingo card, I don't think, Scott Roth. He's got some things to work through now. 19 plays 22. 36ers have taken the lead here in this second term. Of course, no Trey Kelso. A couple of lineup changes. A bit more opportunity for Trentyn Flowers, who's been projected in ESPN Draft Express's latest, or ESPN's latest draft projection at number 60, Liam. So back end of the second round, but good to see him getting some more run.
I'll watch that climb over the back end of this NBL season and through the pre-draft process, because this is a guy loaded with upside. You know, you talk about what you need in the modern game in the NBA, the size, the length, the athleticism, the speed. You can see all of that in this young man, and you know, he's really growing over the course of this season. You can see when he's out there on the floor, the decision-making, what he's doing. And here's the quotes from Mitch McCarron on Trentyn Flowers. He's very high on what the young man's getting done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he says, you know, I think there was a bit of a knock on his resilience. I found him to have a great level of that. I know a lot of guys who probably would have spat the dummy and left already, so you have to give credit to him. If he plays 0 minutes, he still rocks up with the same energy. So far, he's played 5. He played 4 in the whole of the last game. There's an opportunity for him to step up tonight, Gazy, and he's doing that so far.
No, and I think he's been well drilled on his body language and how coaches in the NBA and scouts in the NBA are going to be assessing his personality as much as his talent. The talents, they've already seen it. They've seen it at the lower levels, the junior levels, high school levels in the United States. So they know he's got the skill as Doyle goes in, but does he have that personality that is going to be able to withstand some challenges? And so far, I think he's passed that test.
Yeah, I mean, you see it. You see Milton Doyle getting to the free throw line. You see it when he isn't getting a lot of tick, but he's up there cheering for his teammates. You see it on the day-to-day at 36ers practice. You see it on social media as well. After games when one of his teammates, Vasiljevic or Kadir or somebody goes off, and he's reposting and adding to his stories, shout-outs to those kind of guys. He's done a great job of assimilating himself into the group and riding the bumps and grinds as a first-year pro.
And into the community as well. Looks like he's enjoying life over there in Adelaide. Why wouldn't you? It's one of the great cities, especially at this time of year. It's not too warm. Great beaches. Go on. 1 point game the way of the Adelaide 36ers. And I mean, even tonight, you know, diving on some loose balls. He's come out, he's played with some energy. It's exactly what CJ Bruton would have liked to see. Haven't had a turnover yet in this second period. That's 6 in that opening frame. Did the 36ers. Flowers, Kadir, Humphries, Wiley and Vasiljevic out there for them at the moment. Here is Flowers in the corner. Not that time. Humphries almost kept it alive. Doyle back the other way. He's got such a big bag of tricks and he just reaches in and rips one out.
It's beautiful. And this is a guy that's under control. He plays at his pace and it's the inside-outside move. inside, outside, inside, outside.
Oh, double.
It was a double inside, outside. And had DJ, oh, hello, all over the place trying to pick where he was going to go. And earns his way to the stripe for the N1. They're the little things when you see a lot of the online clips of youngsters these days being taught, and all those inside outside ball handling drills. They're the things that really a big part of the game, more so a part of the game than when we used to play.
You didn't have that?
Did not have that, more straight line goals.
He's a craftsman, Milton Doyle. There's no doubt about that. Humphries able to get one to go at the other end. Ties things at 24 earlier tonight, of course. The Illawarra Hawks going down to the Cairns Taipans by 10. 81-71. Second leg of a Saturday night doubleheader. Big day tomorrow as well. The throwdown between South East Melbourne, Melbourne United, and Sydney and Brisbane to do battle in our 2 games tomorrow afternoon. Here's Humphries at the elbow. Jadee just probing the defence, seeing what he can find. He found Flowers baseline, but he just couldn't handle the pass.
You can hear on those actions, CJ Bruton constantly calling out for his bigs to roll to the bucket. He knows the JackJumpers always looking to show hard. So if that big man can roll and you can get your way through that ball pressure, there's baskets to be found at the back end.
Oh,
Milton Doyle, that was,
I think it was
what do we think, pass?
I think he was trying to pass it and then changed his mind at the last minute because of what he saw from the defence and turned into a pretty ugly play. But that Flowers, again, we saw that he didn't catch it, but the off-ball movement that he has, reading, getting to finding the gaps.
I heard Marcus Lee say after his last game, you've just got to teach these guys that they can throw it up anywhere near the rim and I'll go and get it, as Kadee just flings that one up at the backboard and gets it to drop. But I don't think he exactly meant right at the top of the backboard when he said that, to try and catch a lob. He's out there at the moment with Drew McVeigh, Doyle and Crawford. 5 starters for the Jackies. Doyle with the drop-off pass, and Drew goes crashing into Humphries.
Well, they're starting to second-guess themselves a little bit now. They're only shooting at 30%. They're 8 of 26, the Jackies, and they've had some good looks. That time, Drew came off and had a free throw. Had a wide-open free throw, but just wanted to make the extra pass and perhaps not as confident he needed to be. Got to find a way to get this guy going. He's 0 of 3. That's his first basket in the contest.
Bank was open for Jordan Crawford. He dropped Doyle near mid-court. Outside, Detch can't collect anything on the way through with that.
Well, that was wild. The way that one played out. I'm not sure if someone opened a door there at the AEC, but Sunday was way offline. And a foul called underneath.
Of course, Remembrance Round over in Adelaide. Do it really well between the 36ers and Adelaide United playing across the road at Hindmarsh tonight as well. It's a big part of what they do in the city of Churches as Crawford splashes one in from downtown. And there's a poignant occasion, of course, recognising all those who've given the ultimate sacrifice in service of our country. Nice ceremony pre-game for both of these two teams. Humphries with the spin move. Have a look at that from the big man.
That's beautiful. Great body control. The ability to read the defense. This is the time now that you're going to lock in to Jordan Crawford. He is a guy that can shoot in stretches where he's going to look for his shot. He's made his last 2.
Here he comes. This time, even the most optimistic of JackJumpers fans couldn't claim that as a pass to Marcus Lee. 29-28, 4.5 remaining here in this second period. Wiley throws that one away. Crawford in transition. Gets it back from McVeigh. Exactly, he called that move to start his dribble. This is the long 2.
That was turnover number 8. for Adelaide. Still 4 minutes to play in this second quarter. Got to look after the rock.
Wide for Humphries, who's left in disbelief, having either not got the roll or not got the call. So some scrappy offense on the last couple of possessions. He was one man who can calm things down and find an answer when he needs it. Doyle tosses it inside the lead, misses once, gives it to Drimmick. He won't miss that.
Beautiful pass by Lee in the traffic and had the vision to find his teammate in traffic. Beautiful execution by Lee.
Oh, nice dump-off feed from Vasiljevic. Humphries rolling to the hoop strongly again.
And if you're an Adelaide 36ers fan, you're loving the sight of that particular type of action, and you're saying, more of that, please. And Dejan Vasiljevic is in the screen, the pick and roll with Isaac Humphries. Good things are happening.
Well, as a diver,
Just confirm that no one's going to touch the ring.
Isaac, and there's its potential here for a goaltend. That's what you heard that they're going to have a look at to make sure that there was no one touching the ring.
It's not reviewable. So you can't challenge that.
No, so do you want it revealed or not?
Two! No, don't worry. It's not two shots!
It's not reviewable. He can't review it. Why would you ask him if you want to review it if it's not reviewable?
Isaac, you ready?
He might still want to, even if he can't.
Two!
I want to win the lottery, doesn't mean I will.
With the info, it's not going to help you, but okay, for your own sense, sure.
CJ Bruton just asking for some background information.
But Isaac in those on balls like you're talking about, Liam, he's elite. He's diving to the basket. Throughout the early parts of his career, he's perhaps a little hesitant, maybe looking for a pick and pop or make those mid-range jumpers, but now he's just attacking the rim and he's a much better player for it.
6 points, 3 rebounds tonight. Isaac Humphries 2 of 5 from the field, but the most shots of any 36ers to this point in the game. Still the Jackies by 1. Crawford snakes his way inside. Lee has to get the go-go gadget arms out to try and reach that one. Just couldn't stretch high enough.
That's what he told him to do, Joel.
Just chuck it up there.
Yeah, throw it up there, I'll go get it.
Must be different air pressure in Adelaide or something.
Yep, absolutely.
Barometric pressures playing havoc. DJ Vasiljevic says, I'll wipe the floor and wipe my face. Same towel.
Pressures. So you across the barometric?
Yeah, I am. I know it's got something to do with weather. I know that.
Here's Crawford from downtown. It's a big 3.
Well, he's feeling very good. Drew, you asked for him to enter the chat, and he's in here now making a lot of noise.
My word, he is. And really surprised. Even the last one he missed on the on-ball screens, they're not showing or switching. And he's coming off those. He saw that time wide open. He knocks it down.
Another turnover for the Sixers. That's 9 in the ball game so far. Just a 3 for the JackJumpers. Milton Doyle goes to work, picked up half court by Sunday Dead. McVeigh works his way inside, feeds it to Lee. Had it knocked out of his hands, and Vasiljevic will come the other way. McCarron runs the floor. DJ just pulls up, says, I'll go myself. Lee gets there to pull in the rebound.
Good transition by Lee. He was down the other end, had to sprint back and was able to secure the rebound down the other end.
1 of 7 from downtown, the 36ers. Meanwhile, Jack McVeigh with a big Mitsubishi Motors 3 makes it a game-high 7-point lead for the JJs.
He's just always ready to go. Jack McVeigh spoke about his consistency. Shooting close to 50% from the field on the year and just highly efficient. Another 3 from 4 here tonight.
Starling takes it up strong again, just couldn't hit, and it'll stay in Adelaide colours.
Substitution for the 36ers back in the game, Trentyn Flowers and Smith Milner.
And Flowers coming back in, as well as Toy Smith-Milner. So 1:34 remaining in this second period. 36ers would love to cut back into this 7-point lead that the JackJumpers have. Nice ball movement from Adelaide. Lee came across from the weak side, but there was a foul on the play.
That was really good defensive rotations, the way they got there and able to catch up. And good ball movement by the Adelaide 36ers, and Starling goes to the line where now this is an adventure because he's not all that comfortable from the free throw line.
What did the numbers
No,
say?
they're really bad. Oh no, 22% so far in the season. So
2 of 9.
So he hasn't had a lot.
Small data side. Pardon me? It's a reasonably small data side.
When you see the action, I think there's some areas of concern. It's just above the. Oh, there you go. Pop that big fella. But it's a real slingshot, so he gets it way above his head.
The area of concern, just not enough nylon, or not enough contact with the rim?
Well, I just think that what we're seeing here from a form standpoint, see it goes right above his head and he's shooting it from way above his head. Very, very difficult.
Big trebuchet at the free throw line.
I'll tell you what, though, while the free throw shooting might be inconsistent, the hustle and the energy
that's what he's there for.
That Alex Starling is providing, Drew, he is at a high level.
But that's what he does. Very, very bouncy. In the lower levels, he doesn't have to worry about getting to the free throw line because most of the time it's an and one and posterizing people.
Just under a 50% free throw shooter with South Adelaide last season in the NBL 1 Central, so not his forte, fair to say. 6-point lead to the JackJumpers. Crafty move from Jack McVeigh getting to his left hand. Lead now at 8. Biggest it's been in the game for Tassie. Sixers need a bucket. Flowers has it poked away by Crawford. Just been able to find the answer when they need one of the JackJumpers so far. Those 10 turnovers not helping the 36ers, but they'll get one at the other end. Flowers runs the break. Can't finish. Crawford's got speed to burn, gets to the elbow. He can't hit. Starling's there again with some energy. Second difference between the shot and the game clock as we wind down to half-time. Adelaide's equal lowest scoring first half of the season so far. They've lost the first half in their past 7 games. Kadee can't hit. They'll keep it alive. Kadee's got a chance to beat the buzzer, and he misses. And the JackJumpers lead by a game-high 8 at half-time, 39-31. 10 first-half turnovers from the 36ers. It was a scrappy end to that opening half.
That, and combined with some pretty poor shooting by both the teams, and 15 points in the first quarter, 16 in the second. It's hard when you're only putting 31 points up on the board. Now, JackJumpers really haven't been able to capitalise. Only shooting at 38% themselves. They got their 39 points. So just the first team that can get a hot hand is going to have the advantage.
So Jackie's by 8 at the half. Let's go to Kelsey Brown.
I'm here with Jack McVeigh. It was a really tough start. They stuck with you for that first half. What shifted in the second quarter?
I mean, defense. 31 points is exactly where we want them to be. That's our style of basketball. That's what we've been talking about, and we have to continue that in the second half.
What do you think Scott Roth will have to say going in after halftime?
Oh, probably D-boards, D-boards, D-boards. There'll be an emphasis on the defensive end for sure.
Awesome. Enjoy the second half.
Jack McVeigh's been a big reason that the Tassie JackJumpers lead by 8 at halftime, 39-31. We'll be back to break it all down next.
Sixers family, what an honour on this very special Remembrance Day. The drill is at half-time, so if you gaze your eyes over to the single-fin circuit, you'll see the Australian Army Band Adelaide ready to rock your half-time. Take it away.
So half-time in Adelaide. They kept it close for most of that first half, did the 36ers, but Tassie running away with it toward the end of the opening half. They lead by 8 at half-time, looking for a 6th win of the season. 39-31 in the second leg of our Saturday night doubleheader in the Hungry Jacks NBL. A couple of nice moves from Isaac Humphries, but Jack McVeigh's been critical to the JackJumpers in this first half. Joel Peterson, Liam Santamaria, Andrew Gaze with you. Great to have you with us on Saturday Night Hoops. The Jackies doing it pretty nicely at the half.
Yeah, solid stuff from the JackJumpers as per usual, and they got away from Adelaide in that second quarter. Highly inefficient from Adelaide. You know, the 10 turnovers, 1 of 9 from 3, so they need to tidy things up in the second half.
Let's take a look at our Hungry Jacks highlights from that first half, and a lot of it started with the likes of Milton Doyle. They provided some energy in that opening half, did the 36ers, Drewy, but 10 turnovers was the big problem for CJ Bruton.
Yeah, it is, and I think that the Jackies were getting reward for effort because they were up and in early on, that you could see the ball pressure that they were putting on. But this guy here, Jordan Crawford, when the way he got going, he was quiet to start. He was 0-3, and then we called him out, and he must have hurt us because then he turned it on. Now, you see the way the defence is playing on those on-ball screens. Way up. This guy's too good a scorer. That's what he does throughout his entire career. And the shot selection there, those mid-ranges, a lot of those were really, really good looks that he wasn't able to knock down. But he is so dangerous, he's not going to back away. 4 of 21 last week suggests the man believes in himself. So he is not going, if you are going to give him that type of daylight, he's going to let it fly. And across the course of his career, he showed that he can make life very, very difficult for defences.
Jordan Crawford is many things. He is not shy about shooting the ball, that is for sure. Big day tomorrow, of course. The Throwdown leads our coverage. Melbourne United and South East Melbourne. The best newsbreaker in the business is Olgun Ulich, who can join us now to talk through some news on that one. G'day, Olgun.
Hey, Joel. Tomorrow's Throwdown is really interesting. It's the first Throwdown since the season opener, but Melbourne United will not look like Melbourne United. They will be missing Matthew Dellavedova with a calf injury. They'll be missing Ian Clark with a hamstring injury. Luke Travers is out with a concussion, and so we've seen this team be fine with guys out. They still have Chris Golding who can step up. They still have Joe Lualachua Jr. Ariel Hukpuri should play in this game, and so they have the pieces, but they'll be missing some potential starters. On the other end, Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, they'll be missing Gorjok Gak, who suffered a calf injury against the Brisbane Bullets a few weeks ago, but Daniel Johnson comes in. He's a nominated injury replacement for Gak. 400-plus NBL gamer. He comes in as his replacement. Will Cummings will play. He sat out last game with a corky. That was an aggravation of that injury, so they'll be largely healthy against the #1 seeded Melbourne United. It's a throwdown. There are lots of ins and outs, but it still should be a fiery affair.
Anything can happen in throwdowns, we know that much. It shapes up as an intriguing contest tomorrow.
It is go time for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They are big names that are out for Melbourne United, Drewy, and these games are very big for the Phoenix. They circle them on the schedule, the crosstown rivalry. It's their home fans.
Yep.
They're going to want to get this done.
Oh, my word. And Daniel Johnson's an interesting one coming back in. He's, he hasn't played in a little bit of time, but by all reports, he's been keeping himself fit because he had a opportunity to play overseas. So really interested to see him playing in someone other than an Adelaide 36er jersey.
I don't know how the 8,000 or so people at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre tonight will feel about that tomorrow, but they'll see when Daniel Johnson runs out there. They've got a bit of work to do on their side at half-time. They trail by 8, the 36ers, 31-39. Second half coming up right after this.
Let's hear it, Massive of the Australian Army Band Adelaide!
I'm Marcus Lee. Originally born and raised in San Francisco, California, and I've played all around the world since college.
Entry pass, Marcus Lee.
Marcus is one of my best friends in the world. It was amazing to have him on my team last year and in my corner and stuff, like going through a pretty full-on time in my life.
Isaac's journey's been something that I'm very happy to be a part of. You see him feel free. You see him being able to be accepted and just not worry about what everyone else is thinking. He's lighter on his feet. He's able to just play basketball and just be him. Be able to talk things out. Hey, I need a day. Let's go do something. And it's just those little things make people feel at home. It also helped me feel at home with Australia, knowing that I had a best friend literally sitting right there. Having a friend like Isaac, being able to sing your first dance, it completes the day, and that's all we were looking for.
It's just a really memorable, special way that I can sort of give them something back in their day. I'm very excited, always excited, but yeah, when it's someone particularly close to you, it's very special.
We knew Isaac was the one to do it from the get-go, and then he ended up offering before we could ask, and we're like, this is why we're best friends.
So best mates from either side, Isaac Humphries, Marcus Lee, going at it tonight. Isaac Humphries going to sing the song, the first dance song at his wedding, and there is Marcus Lee. So right next to each other on court as this second half gets going. Tassie by 8, Joel Peterson, Andrew Gaze, Liam Santa Maria with you. How would you go sing the song at someone's wedding, Gazy?
It's a lot of pressure. I'm pretty sure I'm never going to get that invitation, so I'm happy to.
Drew, what would you?
I'm in.
What would you sing?
What's your go-to?
Something a bit rocky, with a bit of grunt to it.
Bit of grunt?
Something you can scream rather than sing. But I'll tell you,
like old jizzle to me. I don't know that that's wedding appropriate though.
A bit of meatloaf or something.
Bat out of hell from Andrew Gaze.
Both these teams need to start singing on the floor, get their shooting percentages up.
1 of 9 from downtown, the Sixers in that first half. And an 11th turnover. Tassie have got 10 points so far from turnovers, make it 12.
Well, geez, it would have been the first thing that they spoke about in the locker room. The 36ers, CJ Bruton, I'm sure would have made that message perfectly clear. Look after the ball, fellas. They throw it away on the first possession. Really good wall up from Marcus Lee to deny Jacob Wiley.
10-point lead is a game high. And Tassie now commits a turnover as Jordan Crawford soccers that one out of play.
Well, we can get on Adelaide, of course, and we will, but you've got to credit Tasmania as well. This constant ball pressure, 94 feet of defense against them every time. Now, it's a little bit of a walk up here, but they make you work all night long. They're physical. They get in the passing lanes. They make it tough.
Aaron with the floater.
We talk about those turnovers of 11, and points off turnovers can be a little bit misleading from time to time, but 12-2 in this one, and in a very low-scoring contest, it's really been the difference.
Literally the margin in the game. Here's Sunday Detch from outside. That one stays alive, going over the backboard. Marcus Lee very casually rebounding that. 1 of 10 from downtown, the 36ers. Starters out there for both teams. Of course, no Trey Kell tonight for Adelaide, out with a calf injury. Isaac Humphries intercepts that one. Offloads to Vasiljevic, who creates some separation but can't finish, and he's frustrated with that. Ball directs some traffic. Flings it outside to McVeigh, now to Drimmick, who hits that and makes it a 13-point game. And CJ Bruton takes no time, calling time.
Well, I think you can sense it. You heard him that possession, and he wants more ball pressure. When you're down playing catch up and it's a low-scoring game and you're struggling on the offensive end, you've got to rely on your defense. And this is a standing turn-up, and you can see by the reaction that CJ wants more intensity. He needs more ball pressure, and he's not seeing it. That last possession, players were there, but there was no hand action. It wasn't active. It wasn't desperate enough, which they need to be when you're really struggling to score.
Quick trigger for CJ Bruton, but it needed to happen out of the gates. Turnover and then just a bit more energy that he's demanding from his team. Interesting to see their response. 13 points is the JackJumpers lead. Kelsey Brown is courtside, and she's with some Adelaide sporting royalty.
I'm here with Kyle Chalmers, fresh off a really successful World Cup. World Swimming Champs. I don't know what I'm talking about. What have you got going on at the moment in the pool? What have you got coming up? I know you're going to Japan in a couple of weeks. What's training look like at the moment?
Yeah, training pretty hard at the moment. We race in Japan in a few weeks' time, but I guess, yeah, getting ready for the Olympic Games next year is kind of our main focus, so, yeah, working hard.
There was a little bit of confusion around whether you were retiring from the sport post-Paris 2024. Can you clear that up on the NBL tonight?
Definitely not retiring. Clickbait media got that one again, so, nah, got hopefully a few more years left in me.
And you're an Adelaide 36ers fan. This is your first game of NBL 24. What are you thinking so far this evening?
Yeah, it's good to finally get back to a game. Obviously, I'm not here all that often, so when I'm here, I try to get to some games and support the team. And it's good to see Jacob Wiley back in the 36ers. And, yeah, I think they're going pretty good, and hopefully they can finish the game strong, and hopefully we get a win.
Well, it's awesome to have sporting royalty in the house. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Olympic gold medalist Kyle Chalmers alongside Kelsey Brown. In the midst of that, another turnover for the 36ers, so up to 12.
DJ with the push-off, just getting frustrated, trying to create some space for himself, and then Jackie's let him off the hook with an air ball.
No 36er has made more than 2 field goals tonight. On the season, Tassie's 3 leading scorers have scored more points per game than any 36er. Here's Scott Rolfe barking instructions to Marcus Lee. 13-point JackJumpers lead. He spins his way inside. Tough move.
That was classy stuff from Jack McVeigh. He's just in his bag, isn't he? He doesn't make anything any more difficult than he needs to be, and twirls his way to the bucket right there.
7-0 run out of halftime. Mitch McCarron puts a stop to that.
Well,
Much needed bucket.
Yeah, they certainly did, Joel. It was looking really bleak there for a minute. Just need something to change the fortunes, get the crowd back involved, get a bit more emotion into the contest, and most importantly, find a way to get some stops.
Beautiful feed from Doyle to find Lee. Margin back out at 14. Tassie with 9 points to 3 so far in this period. TJ Vasiljevic fouled on the way through.
The JackJumpers often, under Scott Roth, talk about wanting to drag their opponents down to playing in the mud. Clint Steindl spoke about it a little bit last week. Now, you talked about the defensive struggles they've had this season, Joel, and they're coming in 8th in defensive efficiency. I think they've done a very good job of that tonight, of dragging the 36ers into the mud, turnovers, pretty stagnant offense. Scott Roth would be loving the way they're defending so far tonight.
Rebounding the ball well. Also Tassie, which hasn't been a strength so far this year. They get another one there as McVeigh collects the miss from McCarron.
They don't let you get a lot of rhythm on the offensive end because they spend so much time in the half court on offense. They make you play a lot of defense.
Ooh. Milton Doyle goes behind the back to find Lee. Beautiful pass again from the creative force behind this JackJumpers machine.
Marcus Lee just continuing to get into the right areas. He is benefiting beautifully off the play of Crawford, Doyle, and the rest of the JackJumper playmakers.
11-3 out of halftime. It's a game-high 16-point lead for the JackJumpers. Starling goes up strong at the other end.
This is where CJ Bruton's gone to a couple of his energy guys, Starling and Flowers, off the bench to try to change the momentum in the home team's favour.
Crawford to McVeigh, Lee, Doyle out there for Tassie. Nice pass from Doyle, McVeigh outside. Starling, McCarron, Humphries, Kadee and Flowers, the 5 for CJ Bruton. Just over halfway gone here in this third period. As Kadee fights his way through some contact, and we see on the Harvey Norman replay the smooth moves of Milton Doyle.
Good pass. Knew exactly where the help was coming from and found Marcus Lee. And it's a little surprising because DJ's been their man since coming back, and that last time out it seemed like that CJ was directing a bit of his criticism towards him. And Jason Kadee and Nick Marshall has entered the contest. So CJ throwing his rotation around, trying to find some offense.
Just the 6th appearance for Nick Marshall this season.
He's coming off 4 consecutive DMPs. So as you say, Drew, is CJ just searching for some energy and some guys to try to turn this game around.
Trey Kelp, this is probably another example without him being there that Nick Marshall getting an opportunity.
Magnay back into the JackJumpers lineup tonight. Trey Kelp not there through a calf injury. McDonald calls glass, can't get that to go. Marshall comes up with the loose ball. Weaves his way down the floor and gets involved instantly.
Good take. That's a way to come out and have an instant impact.
Well, when you haven't played 4 games, you'd think maybe you work yourself into the contest, but he's come in and provided what CJ needs, and that's a sparky. Good handles. Have a look at the Harvey Norman replay. Just showed great control.
A bit of inside-outside about that.
There's a touch of it, but even more impressive, he sized up that Magnay was there and used his body to protect the ball. Kisses off the glass. Impressive start, young man.
Just a skerrick of inside-outside from Nick Marshall. He's done a lot of good work with the Mount Gambier Pioneers in the NBL 1.
Tell me about it.
Oh, he gave you some visits.
Here he is again. Marshall going inside and drops it off to Starling. CJ Bruton's holding for a Marshall, and it's paying dividends.
Oh, Joel. That is post-season type production by you.
Post-season production by Nick Marshall. Doing some really nice things. Here's Steindl outside. A 3 in game 300 for the skipper.
Well, he can be a heartbreaker. Clint Steindl, you know, the CJ Bruton starting to feel good about things. He thought, my Nick Marshall move was sort of maestro type stuff right here. And then Steindl goes whack from long range.
Back to 12. Flowers going baseline, kick out pass, finds Sean McDonald. Races up the floor, absorbs some contact, can't get that to go. Marshall's in the right place at the right time again. Kadee now got himself all kinds of tangled up there. And he's called for steps.
Gee. Well, that was brilliant by Jason Kadee as he kept McDonald in front of him. Down the other end, it looked like the other guy, there was some type of deflection on the ball, so he might have been a tad unlucky. But at the end of the day, whether he's unlucky or not, it's 14 turnovers for the Adelaide 36ers.
McVeigh outside. Cans that one. Just like that, the lead's back to 15.
He's the only guy in double figures. Game high of 14 points. Jack McVeigh, 75% from the field. Just super efficient, allowing other guys to create the opportunities, and he's just ready to catch and fire and make plays and put points on the board.
And coming back to a place that you're familiar with as well always helps. You know the surroundings, you know the rims. You may be trying to make a point to say, hey, why didn't you go to your wallet a little bit deeper in order to keep me?
It's 6 threes last time against the 36ers. Flowers keeps it alive and puts that one up and in, and likes his work as well. Why not?
It's a little chaotic at times right now with this group. A couple of turnovers, as you say, Drew, but they have brought the requisite energy that CJ Bruton was after, and all of a sudden you can feel just a little bit of buzz and momentum heading the 36ers' way.
Just get the sense that Murray the Magpies buzzing around, trying to energise this crowd. Steindl from the top of the three-point line. Crawford recycles the possession. Matched up with Starling. Goes straight to work. Can't get it to go, but he will go to the strike.
What's a handful? To keep this man in front. They've got some size on him now with Flowers guarding him.
Well, yeah, when it was Starling there that got...
Yeah, but he was picking him up and trying to keep him in front of him.
He's so quick. He's just so ridiculously quick, Drew.
That's right, and for a youngster, he needs to use his length. Well, that was a switch and he went at Starling.
For those that get to a game this season, watching Jordan Crawford and Parker Jackson-Cartwright in the open floor as well is something else. In Perth, they look quick on the TV if you're watching at home, but when you get to a game, it is next level. They just race down the floor, the both of them. 15-point ball game. Here's Marshall again. Flowers puts it on the floor. Loses the handle, regains it, and finishes.
A little clunky, but he's put it to the deck, and again, he's got that bounce and just that youthful enthusiasm. Just they really need right now, the Adelaide 36ers.
Oh, that was classy and a little too easy for Jordan Crawford. A little Steve Nash style, keeps the dribble alive. Scores on the other side, and again, things getting a little hectic here. Nick Marshall with the twirly-whirly, telling CJ Bruton to review that one.
Is that the official term for that signal?
That is a twirly-whirly.
Okay, that's good.
I'm told. Scott Butler let me know. That's the signal.
The official refereeing terminology being brought to you by Liam Santamaria this evening. 60 to 45. Can have a coach's challenge on the play, as Nick Marshall indicated with the twirly-whirly. 1:21 remaining in this third period.
Do you have twirly-whirly privileges, Drewy, coming off the back of 4 straight DMPs?
I wouldn't have thought so. I would have thought, hey, oh, mate, the back, can you just clarify what Nick's suggesting took place? Because, you know, you're a youngster, you're trying to get some playing time, but he's 100% correct.
Good call by him.
It was. And it's interesting to see how that official, based on, you see where he is. Now, to me, he's just had to guess, because there's no way he could have seen that, is there? And he's guessed wrong. It's as we'd expect, it's a successful challenge.
The coach's challenge is successful. It will be blue ball to start.
He got a lot of Scotty Ninnis, if you those that have been around.
White man can jump.
He's got that Scotty Ninnis look, as in physically, and Scotty Ninnis is one of the assistant coaches, but also the way he plays, the way he can get downhill, get on the rim, gets up and in on the defensive end.
I like that.
He's got a good mentor right on the sidelines.
He just passed the message up and said, throw Mini-Me out there, CJ.
That's it.
We'll turn this thing around.
15-point gap the way of the Jack Jumpers. Minute 22 remaining. Joel Peterson, Liam Santamaria, Andrew goes with you. Second leg of a Saturday night doubleheader. Cairns getting the job done over Illawarra by 10 earlier tonight. Kelsey Brown's courtside with us. And that time, Nick Marshall, there will be no twirly-whirly required because he had the foot on the sideline. Let's go courtside to Kelsey Brown.
CJ was quite calm considering a 15-point deficit, but he just spoke in offense about getting through the sets. I want to talk about Marshall, though. He has come on and been absolutely amazing. The crowd is really getting behind him, so I feel like he's created that spark in this arena.
Get the sense he's a bit of a fan favourite, maybe in the Ben Henschel mould over in Perth. They've been clamouring to see him out there more.
Yeah, well, South Australian kid with a whole bunch of upside, and as a young man who's been desperate for some more opportunities this season.
There's one thing South Australians love. It's South Australians getting out there and doing their thing on the court, on the field, or whatever it is. Crawford works it inside, finds Magno.
Got bailed out. He was in the paint a long, long time. And it was the reaching and the foul. Another count. I mean, surely would have had him for 3 seconds. This has just been a superb defensive display. 14, 6, 15, 16, 14 so far is what this quarter-by-quarter scores for the Adelaide 36ers, and that's going to be a foul on Flowers. Can't just run through the screener. Need to go around, get on the hip.
Well, it's 2 in a row. 2 in a row from Flowers in exactly the same fashion. And prior to that, he'd actually been doing a really good job of chasing around those screening actions. But here, just a little overzealous, a little physical. Picks up a couple of personals.
14 points, 14 minutes, 8 points, 3 of 5 from the field tonight for Trentyn Flowers. A couple of rebounds. A couple of turnovers in there as well, but joined the club as far as the 36ers are concerned. There's Trey Kell, the man who's not out there tonight with that calf injury. He was a game-time decision, so you'd expect that it's not going to be a long-termer.
And they're missing their scoring punch. The scoring punch that he provides. You mentioned the 25 points.
A couple of times.
That he had last week, yeah, and he's put a few of those into the mix in recent weeks. So you see the 45 points here in the dying minutes of three-quarter time, that they're missing a little bit of what he can provide.
It's just not enough. It puts so much pressure on your defense when you're only able to score 45 in 3/4 of basketball.
He was fouled on the way through, and he'll go to the line to shoot a triple in terms of free throws. So 9th in scoring coming into tonight, 85.3 points a game. 9th in terms of offensive efficiency at 107.3. According to Spatial Jam, the 9th best three-point shooting team in the competition at 31.2. It's the end, but they're a middle-of-the-road defense, and that's fine. But it's that end, that offensive end, that's caused them the problems so far this season, Adelaide.
Yeah, and look, they're season-long numbers, so some of that is to do with what was the issue early doors, right? Like, it's improved a little bit in recent weeks since the introduction of Dejan Vasiljevic, but certainly not tonight, regressing to the mean.
Well, what will give the Adelaide fans even more heartburn is if DJ comes out tomorrow and lights it up and provides that offensive spark for the Phoenix.
And he's coming back to this building
next week, next Friday
night.
Yes, I believe I'm going to be there with Leonard Coven, so I'm looking forward to getting there, and I think Case is going to be on the call.
Hopefully there's a nice little tribute for him.
Should be.
Oh, they will.
On the big screen.
I guarantee.
Come on, Drewy.
Nah, guarantee. They're classy. Adelaide fans are classy.
Yep. And they love their legends. So they're super passionate about their people.
And it wasn't like DJ packed the bags and sooked it up and didn't go with them. He wanted to play. It's just that they decided they wanted to go in a different direction, I believe.
Some big moments, some big situations did Daniel Johnson over the time.
Speaking of legends.
Ken Cole won a championship with Adelaide and
always dressed to the nines as well.
You played that Invincibles team, did you not?
In 86. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, in 86, and we were no good. And they,
on the other hand,
got hold of us, and they were invincible.
So final possession of this third period. 16-point lead to the JackJumpers. It's been as high as 17 in this third period. Can Adelaide close out this third term on a high note? Wiley outside to Kadee. It won't go. And at three-quarter time, the 36ers have got all kinds of work to do. They trail the JackJumpers by 16. It's Tassie 63 to Adelaide 47. three-quarter time at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. And it has been plenty of entertainment provided, but most of it by the Tasmania JackJumpers to three-quarter time. They've opened up a 16-point break. Jack McVeigh doing his thing in double digits with 14. Jordan Crawford's got 12. No 36ers in double figures. They've got 15 turnovers to three-quarter time, and they've got to mount the climb in this final period. Joel Peterson, Liam Santamaria and Andrew Gaze. Can they do it, Gaze?
Well, it's going to have to be a dramatic turnaround, and CJ's gone deep into his options to try and find a successful combination. Galloway's going to see his first time, and that's not the start that they were looking for, a three ball. But they just can't score. They're 2 of 12 from the three-point line, 16%, only 39% from the field. But it's been a white hot from the three-point line for the Jackies. 10 of 23. Some really good shooting.
Shooting it at a very nice clip.
And Milton Doyle, he's only got the 8 points. He's 2 of 9 from the field, 1 of 3 from fives, but he's got 7 assists. So he's making things happen, finding his teammates.
And this is what happened with Jordan Crawford last week against Brisbane. At that 4 for 21 from the field, he had 8 assists of his own that night as Marshall scores at the rim. So even when they're not hitting certain guys for the JackJumpers, they're always moving the ball. That squad, they don't really care who takes the shots or puts points on the board, as long as they're wearing something in green and yellow.
Crawford with a long two, can't connect. Vasiljevic takes some contact from Steindl. The milestone man. There in game 300.
Adelaide desperately just needs someone to get going, someone to get hot. You know, we had a fun little Towie Smith-Milner cameo in that first half, but, you know, we're in the fourth quarter now, and they don't have a single player in double digits.
No one with more than the 8 that Trentyn Flowers has provided them. He's out there at the moment with Humphries, Marshall, Galloway, and that man, Vasiljevic.
Straight away, Scott Roth doesn't want to let this one get away, calls a timeout.
So the snooze timeout, Tassie's lead cut back to 14, 66 to 52.
All right, 60s family, you know this one really, really well. It's time for the Chemist Warehouse. Who's with Wally? You know the drill. What we got to do?
So Scott Roth talking it over with his team. Didn't waste any time, and he doesn't look all that pleased with what he's seeing.
Well, he knows that they can close the game out right now. You know, they can just snap the neck if they have a solid couple of minutes here, and you never want to give a sucker an even break. And of course, you know, we saw a few weeks ago in that fourth quarter against Illawarra, you know, if someone gets hot like Flowers did on that night, things can turn around very, very quickly in games in this league. So he sees Dejan Vasiljevic knock it down, and he says, no, hold on, just a tick of the clock. We can't have it.
Ray Wood, another one of the legends of the Adelaide 36ers, and I go back to the date. It was West Adelaide.
Okay.
The Bearcats.
The Bearcats.
Oh, you know what? I was telling some of the kids this morning about the Bearcats. I was at Frankston Stadium.
Yeah.
72 from Mean Al Green against the Bears.
Oh, yes. The next night, we had to play them, the Melbourne Tigers. Kenny Coles talking to Kenny about that game. Brian Goodgen got hold of Al Green and quietened him down. We got the win. Gorge had 30, all in the first half.
Jeez. It's not bad going.
10 threes, if you don't mind. Check the records.
Chuk Deng bounces that one home with a very friendly roll. 16-point lead to the JackJumpers. Let's go courtside to Kelsey Brown.
I listened into Scott Roth. Well, when I say listened, he took about 40 seconds to start speaking. He was furious. He stared down each and every player, and he said, if you don't take care of it on the defensive end, you're coming out. So he's angry.
Vasiljevic gets inside and lays it home with the left hand.
And that's a little too easy by Majuk Deng. Majuk Deng's been great on the offensive end, and that's a part of the area of his game that he needs to continue to grow with.
McDonald, Crawford, Deng, Magnay, Steindl out there for the JackJumpers. Deng working on Vasiljevic. Come back at the way of the 36ers. And they'll look for DJ, who pulls up from range. And Humphries recycles the possession and gets it to go.
Good hustle from Humphries. They need to keep scoring, Adelaide, to start to build the pressure and, of course, to cut into this margin. So an extra possession there and back to an even dozen.
Crawford thought about his luck from well downtown. Just gets inside, tries to scoop it home. Steindl on the offensive rebounds. Deng is left wide open. DJ pulls down the rebound. They can make it a single-figure game on this possession. In front of a massive crowd at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. 9,440 in the house. Here's DJ, and he's got all of them on their feet.
Well, he's taken matters into his own hands. He's knocked down a couple of threes. He's missed a three that was from just over the halfway line. So he's just thought, well, this is what I'm here for. I need to provide some offense, and he needs to do a little bit better on the defensive end rather than again just trying to go through. Look at the Harvey Norman replay. And Magnay was just a little late. That was the first one that got him going.
Jeez, that's tough.
That is tough.
Just a little bit here as well.
The issue is they undo some of their own good work down the other end. Needed to get over that screen, not just push through it and give up the foul.
Okay, here we go. Watch the line.
It's under 22 minutes for Vasiljevic tonight. He spent a fair bit of time on the pine in that third quarter when CJ Bruton went to a different lineup. He's come back and lit the fuse to get it back to a 9-point game. Crawford gets inside. Just wildly throws that one up toward Lee. Vasiljevic on the other end, had it, lost it, regathered it. Doyle's called for a foul.
They have some run about them, the 36ers. Single-digit margin, Drewy.
Yep.
Some
energy in the building.
Bit of grab-it-and-go type stuff off the defensive glass. And they've got the JackJumpers on the back foot.
Ready? Ready to go?
Just on that crowd, so 9,440 at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. You consider that the A-League's on across the road at Hindmarsh Stadium as well, so there's no shortage of choice, and plenty of people have chosen to head along to the Hungry Jacks NBL. Here's Marshall in the corner. Can't get that to go.
That's a huge opportunity for the Adelaide 36ers right there.
Crawford gets that to go.
Jeez, it was a loose ball. Chance for the 36ers to pounce on it, and instead, Crawford knocks it down.
Galloway can't hit from outside. 4 of 17 for the night. Takes it inside this time. He's fouled on the way through as McCarron puts a lid on it after the fact. Kyron Galloway getting some run. He and brother Jalen have had such impressive seasons.
There is the massive crowd.
One of the great things about the Adelaide Entertainment Centre is it's got the comfiest seats of any stadium I've ever been to.
Oh, it surely does. And Drew and I were in the building a few weeks ago, and the energy and atmosphere in there was second to none.
It is, and it's perfect for basketball. You're so close to the action. It's no wonder they're coming in not only in comfort, get right on top of all the play. They'll be a little bit disappointed with what they've seen here this evening, but all is not lost. Still very much alive in this one.
And a lot of time to work with too. Haven't hit halfway in this final period yet. Joel Peterson, Liam Santamaria, Andrew Gaze with you. Hungry Jacks NBL, Kelsey Brown is courtside. Here comes Milton Doyle. Good defense from Isaac Humphries, but Lee keeps the possession alive. Can't hit on the turnaround. Vasiljevic the other way, gets it all the way inside.
Tough finish. Really good punch screen from Galloway. Got the ball rolling, and then Vasiljevic with the deft touch over the top of the rim.
He's up to 14.
Here come the 36ers. We've seen a comeback from them already this season. A 35-point fourth quarter against Perth here at home a couple of weeks ago. Another empty offensive possession for the Jackies. Vasiljevic sizes up Drimic. Offloads to Humphries.
Oh,
just couldn't get it to fall.
Perfect action.
Drimic against his former team. That is a big hit.
Time out, Adelaide.
Anthony Drimic buries a three-pointer to quieten the run from the 36ers. And Tassie lead by 10. So 73-63, 4 minutes 11 remaining, and that was a bucket they dearly needed.
Wow, he knew it too, Drimic. Just held the form up to the fact, just letting all his former fans in Adelaide know that he's put this thing back out to double digits.
Right in front of the opposing bench as well. Scott Roth just seeking some urgency from his team.
Well, plenty of time still on the clock. Now, the question for CJ is, all right, you got this group in there that's getting some things done. You've gone deep into the lineup to find that kind of group. How long do you roll with it? When do you start to swing some changes, bring some fresh bodies off the bench? It's always a tough thing to do when certain guys have got you back in the game.
Done a good job to fight their way back in here, the 36ers. And a big hit from Anthony Drimic against the opposing bench. Holds the finish. And back to a 10-point lead. So they've challenged and they've rallied in this game. Now they've got to find the energy and the spirit to go again here, the 36ers.
Well, they are, and given what DJ's done in this quarter, he's got to be the focal point.
Humphries goes inside and puts it on his shoulders.
Gee, the defense of the Jackies in this last quarter has just been a lot more conservative than what we've seen throughout the first three quarters.
18 points already for Adelaide. Doyle from outside.
Big shots, big moments from big-time players. Doyle has been a little quiet at times, but that's a big moment to come up and knock one down.
Already Adelaide's highest scoring quarter of the game. Vasiljevic, he's over the other side of the river. Torrens when he lets that go. McCarron keeps it alive. Marshall, now Galloway. Won't go. McCarron's in there again. Underneath to the Vasiljevic. Galloway is wide open and makes them pay. They won't go away.
Desperate stuff. McCarron in particular just pulling down offensive boards, keeping the ball alive, and they eventually cash in, but oh boy, nobody checks Marcus Lee as he rolls his way to the rim.
He said just throw it anywhere. That time he was able to go up and get it. Back to a double-digit game. Here's DJ. Getting inside. Good defense from Lee. Crawford's fouled at midcourt.
Well, everything needs to go right from here on out for the Adelaide 36ers. And it starts with getting stops. Boy, did that... You think of the opportunity they had to cut it to 5. They miss it, come down, Drimic knocks down that 3 ball. Very, very fine line in this game.
Crawford, Drimic, McVeigh, Lee, Doyle out there. Doyle trying to make something happen again. 11 points to his name, 3 of 12 from the field. Here's Smith-Milner. He's had himself a good night. Can't hit there.
9, grabbed his elbow.
Foul on McVeigh.
Bonus. Yellow 9, grab at the elbow.
They're going to the free throw line here. The 36ers, and CJ Bruton's taken Humphries out of the game. He was buggered, and they need some fresh legs in there. But he's got a group out there that can all shoot the ball. So they're trying to pull back the margin here in quick time.
Well, they do, and it's what we saw to the other end. spoke of Al Green. There he is. The man that had 72. 72. He still looks like he'd lace him up right now and get out there and play.
He would give you some buckets, and he'd tell you all about it too.
Bit like you, Gazy?
No, not like me in any way, shape or form.
8-point leg to the JackJumpers. Milton Doyle going all the way.
And that's what we're talking about. Just not able to get stops when you need them.
Smith-Milner rumbling down the floor.
And make layups when you needed them.
Fairly sure no one was going to stand in his way after what we saw earlier. Here's Doyle again. So good in these late game situations. McVeigh to Drimmick, 7 on the shot clock. And McCarron reaches in on Crawford.
That hurts. Shot clock all the way down to 5. Come up with the foul.
As well.
Isaac looking to check back in. It's surprising to me because you do need score. You need 3 balls, and Isaac coming in, I guess, to try and make sure that they get some stops.
Here's McVeigh. That one's a bit strong. McCarron spins his way down the floor. Galloway steps into a 3. Up and down, around and out. And that might just be enough for Tassie. 10 points the spread, minute remaining. 36ers have made their challenge. Travel on Doyle. JackJumpers have had the answers when they've needed them.
And this energy in this fourth quarter where they've been able to open the game up, get it up and down the floor a little bit. It's come a little bit too late. It's the only quarter they've been able to put 20 or more on the board. And they were just in such a grind for quarters 1, 2, and 3 and put themselves in a deep, deep hole.
47 at three-quarter time. We're thinking, gee, what's the lowest score this season? It was 67 in the very opening game by the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. So 36 certainly eclipsed that. Still some work to do on the offensive end. Vasiljevic at the line. Of course, I'd love to see Trey Cal back in the lineup. Out with a calf injury tonight, so hopefully they get him back for next week. They take on Southeast Melbourne here at home in front of what will surely be another massive crowd. So a snooze timeout with 57 seconds remaining. 36ers down by 8. Scott Roth, conversation with the officials saying, oh, I'm not sure that's quite allowed.
I tend to agree with him, unless I'm misunderstanding the rules.
I do like Scott Roth saying it's my ball as well. It's not our ball. It's not a Tasmania ball. It's Scott Roth's ball.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, you can have the timeout. You can have the timeout. You can have it. They can have it.
Okay.
Well, permission's been granted.
They can have it.
When all is said and done, and he gets his timeout, Scott Roth will get his ball after the fact, and we will restart proceedings. And
I assume they're going to advance it on this one, the Adelaide 36ers.
So we talk about the 36ers offense. How much of it's been the Tassie defense, do we think? Just
a lot.
Hitting some form again.
A lot.
Excuse me, because I'm getting...
No, I was just going to let that slide.
Confusing me because he's complaining.
There'll be no advancing.
It's his ball, so he will not advance because he wants to use
the full
24 seconds.
Indeed. The Tassie defense has been good, and it's what they're looking to try to improve. And they'll look at these first 3 quarters and say, well, that's where we got our advantage, because we kept them in the teens, in the low teens at that, or mid-teens, 15, 16, and 16 in each of those first 3 quarters. And you credit them for the turnovers and the poor shooting percentages.
Down the court, and Lee puts a lid on it.
Beautiful execution against the pressure defense. The ball doesn't touch the floor. Pass, 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 dunk.
Such a well-drilled unit, this JackJumpers team. McCarron had it and lost it. Trying his luck from outside was Marshall. Karen comes up with another possession. And they come up empty again. Of course, a big Sunday coming your way. Southeast Melbourne and Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane tomorrow. And the JackJumpers are going to do enough to get to 6-4. The 36ers, 3-7 on the season. Ahead of a home game against the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix next weekend. Crawford gets inside. JackJumpers keep it alive. You can hear Scott Roth saying, shoot it. Lee from outside tried to put a cap on things. But it's a pretty clinical performance again from Tasmania. They roll into Adelaide, and in front of a packed Adelaide Entertainment Centre. They topple the hosts, 82-72, to win their 6th game of the season.
Well, there's certainly going to be some lessons here for the JackJumpers as well, because clearly their defense in the last quarter, it tapered. They hit that, made that first basket. They got 19 up and then just took the foot off the pedal ever so slightly. And the Adelaide 36ers were good enough to find some offense. They had their highest scoring quarter, 25 points in the quarter. But all in all, it was an unimpressive night for the Adelaide 36ers in my view. I think that CJ was throwing his lineup around. He was trying to find a combination that would work in that last quarter. Just the energy, some of the younger guys coming on. Nick Marshall in particular. Kieran Galloway came in and gave him a bit of a spark, but it was all too little too late for them, and they needed to be perfect in that last quarter, and they weren't.
Some definite positives to take away from it, though. Yeah, the play of Marshall, the play of Flowers coming in as well. Starling gave them some good minutes. As a coach, does it create more answers or questions when you sort of get those performances coming off your bench?
You want guys that come off the bench and play well, so that's good. You like that, but you've got some other guys that didn't really particularly play well, and in the end, they end up with 11 guys who played 10 or more minutes. Adelaide. So it was a bit all over the place as they searched for answers, as Drewy outlined, and yeah, I think it'll be a lengthy review process with their work at the offensive end after that one. But credit to the Jackies. That's what they do. They make life tough for you, and they did that to Adelaide tonight.
Absolutely, they did. They moved to 6-4 on the season, and Kelsey Brown has got Jordan Crawford.
Yeah, I'm here with Jordan Crawford. You finished the game with 17, 6 and 3. With the team, what's pleasing you most about Jackie's basketball at the moment?
First off, to God be the glory. But yeah, Jackie basketball, just, grit and grind, getting after it defensively, being up the floor. So we just been working on that all week and trying to get better each day.
You had Will Magnay enter back into the team this week. Between him and Marcus Lee, how is that combination working on the floor?
Man, it's always a blessing when you see guys get hurt. They fight to get back, and, this is his first day back, and you got to thank God for that, to be able to just be out here and play. So now with him back in the lineup, it's going to give us another guy coming off the bench, ready to knock somebody over, help Marcus out. So it's going to be a big help.
You come up against the Breakers on Thursday next week. Is that a game that you're looking forward to, or how are you going to look forward to them?
Oh, we're just taking it one day at a time. If we get to there, God willing, then we get there. But we got to take it tomorrow, got a flight, recover, and take it day by day until we get there.
An impressive game by you. Enjoy the recovery.
Thank you.
Jordan Crawford, our Foot Locker player of the game. Such a dynamic offensive force for the JackJumpers.
Well, he is. He got it going. It took him a little while. Like, he started 0-3, came up with a couple of steals, and then just worked his way into it. And he's been a scorer, a walking bucket his entire career, and you can see why. And early on, I don't think the Adelaide 36ers were showing him enough respect. You've got to be a lot tighter on those on-ball screens, and he can find his way into that mid-range. But it's real contrast between these two teams. You look at the starting lineup as we take a look at these numbers, 6 of 16, only 38%. Missed a few that he's normally going to make. The little fella gets in there and picks up some sneaky boards with a 6. And as I mentioned, the 3 steals, but it's a big difference when you see that the starting lineup for the Jackies playing the bulk of the minutes. You could clearly see what they were doing, whereas the Adelaide 36ers, as Liam mentioned, a little all over the place.
And that starting lineup hasn't changed all season. Another key member of that is Milton Doyle, who's with Kelsey.
Milton, a really dominant performance by the Jackies. You kept the 36ers to 72. A huge emphasis on defence. Is that something that you're proud of tonight?
Yeah, definitely. We started off 8th in defense in the league, so we're trying to move up in that. And I think this is a testament to focusing on the scout and listening to the coaches.
How are you feeling out there? I feel like you've come into your own the last couple of weeks. A huge performance last week against Brisbane. Are you feeling comfortable out there?
Yeah, I feel very comfortable right now. I've been making some shots, facilitating, so the team's gelling nice. We got everybody healthy now. Mags is playing, so I feel good.
That's what I wanted to ask about. The team has a really high morale at the moment. Is it feeling good within the group because it's showing on the floor?
Yeah, it's definitely showing. It shows in practice. Everyone's going after each other. Now it shows on the court. Holding this team to 72. We know they like to get out and score. Drim did good on DJ this game, so it's been showing.
Awesome. Good luck against the Breakers on Thursday.
Milton Doyle with another 13 points. Not his best shooting night, Liam. 4 of 13 from the field, but 8 assists, 4 steals in there as well.
Yeah, he was active. And, you know, like he doesn't force things, Milton Doyle. He just takes what they give him. There, the defense is in front, so he drops it off. The kick out, he's wide open on the arc. He's happy to step up and knock it down. A lot of defensive attention goes his way. So tonight he turned himself in a bit more of a distributor. The double inside-outside was fun. We enjoyed that, but he showed the variety of skills that he brings to the table, setting up his teammates, putting points on the board, his active hands defensively, just finding the ways to get the job done for the Jackies.
He brings so much to the table, does Milton Doyle, and it's a table that's pretty well set at the moment for the JackJumpers at 6-4. They take a 10-point win over the Adelaide 36ers. We'll be back next to wrap it all up. The Adelaide 36ers rallied late against the Tasmania JackJumpers. They just couldn't get over the line. These two teams came in 4th and 8th on the table. And the Jackies controlled things really from half-time onward, led by 16 at three-quarter time. They end up running out winners by 10. They temporarily go to third spot on the table at 6-4. Adelaide slipped down to 3-7 on the season. And there you see the full-match stats, and not a great shooting night for the 36ers to go with 15 turnovers.
In particular from the three-point line, 5 of 24. That's not great. And as you mentioned, the turnovers, they did do better in the second half of taking care of the ball. But a couple of opportunities that didn't go their way. Even down the stretch, they could have cut it to 5 on an occasion. They were relatively simple ones that they weren't able to knock down. And but I tell you, this is going to be an absolute beauty.
Oh, boy.
Because the Phoenix, they're under a bit of pressure in this one because they're up against a depleted Melbourne United. And if they can't get this one would suggest that there's a bit of head games going on for the Phoenix if they can't get this one.
And then the Kings and the Bullets, Liam.
Yeah, another really good game. Brisbane looking to bounce back to that loss to Tassie, and Sydney, well, they've been rolling along pretty well. So 2 really fun games on the slate tomorrow.
Absolutely. So plenty more to come in Hungry Jack's NBL to close out round 7. Thanks to all of our hard-working team tonight. Tassie just too good. They win by 10 and get the job done. Move to 6-4, up to 3rd. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be mic 2. Mic 2, mic 2, mic 2. And mic 1, Josh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is mic 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mic 1.
Thank you. Do you want us to hang about, or should we go start de-rigging?